Y'all are broke as hell. Today, we are talking about the top 10 cheap cars. And also, we're not just talking about purchase price, we're talking about ownership experience and fixing them, along with insurance and how dependable they are. Before we get into things, just remember that a truck is always going to be cheaper to insure, and vehicle condition is key. I don't care what car you're buying. If it's rotted as hell or if it's in crappy condition, it's not worth buying in the first place. At number 10, we have the Ford Taurus. A car so boring you could fall asleep talking on it. But when you're buying one of these, you really don't care about horsepower, you probably just want the wagon. These things are insanely reliable, anybody and their mom can work on them, and nobody wants them, so you could probably get them pretty damn cheap. Number 9, we have the Chevy Cobalt, the Pontiac G5, and the Saturn Ion. I kid you not, these cars are so cheap, you could work at McDonald's for a week and be able to buy one of these. Don't forget, there were performance variants of these as well. The Cobalt SS was the fastest front-wheel drive car around the Nürburgring at the time. Hell, I owned one of these cars. I had a Saturn Ion with like 300,000 miles on it. I bought this car after my uncle beat the crap out of it, and imagine what a teenage me would do to it. Find the top speed, of course. Woo! Woo! Teenager tested, teenager approved. At number 8, we have the Lexus LS 400. This was when Toyota raised their middle finger up at Mercedes-Benz and proceeded to say,
"I'm the captain now."
Toyota dependability with the luxury of an S-Class. Oh yeah, the engine under the hood makes 290 horsepower and refuses to die. With them being rear-wheel drive with a decent aftermarket, you can turn one of these into one hell of a drift missile. At number 7, we have the Chevy Caprice, and all of its relatives. The Buick Roadmaster, the Cadillac Fleetwood, the Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, and the Chevy Impala. Now, you primarily see old guys driving these because they are so goddamn reliable and so freaking comfortable. Plus, they have a small block Chevy and you can basically do whatever the hell you want to them. And even though they come with a 4L60E, a T56 swap is not that hard. Number 6, literally any Honda from the 90s. Now these are some of the most basic cars you could possibly find. Like most of these cars still had a distributor type basic. You need to own one of these is some duct tape, a screwdriver, and $1,000. Just make sure to avoid the rice at all cost. Number 5, every GM front-wheel drive car that came with a 3.8 liter. And for those of you wondering, here's the list. They're all good cars, go out and grab one. But here's what you need to know. They either came supercharged or naturally aspirated with a 4T65E automatic transmission. These cars are extremely reliable, extremely comfortable to drive, and on top of that, if you decide to do so, you can make them haul ass too. Number 4, the 4th gen Camaro and Firebird. But that's a sports car, it can't be affordable. No. You're wrong. You could pick up a V6 car in good shape for under $3,000. Or maybe a rough LT1 car, but I wouldn't suggest that. The one you're looking for is any of them that have a 3.8 liter V6 with a 5-speed manual and T-tops. Preferably one that is older than 25 years old so you can insure it through Hagerty. Combined with decent fuel economy makes these a great car to own. And on top of that, you could slap a supercharger or a turbocharger on one of these and make them really damn quick. Number 3, the Ford Mustang, the Mercury Cougar, and the Ford Thunderbird. Now, if you're looking at a Mustang, just look at the V6 cars. All the V8 cars are going to be whooped at this price range. But the Thunderbird and the Cougar is a different story. Yes, the V6 cars are cheap, but the V8 cars are cheap as well. You are getting the exact same motor out of a Mustang GT, and you can still get them with a 5-speed, but you get independent suspension all the way around. Yeah, the V6s came supercharged in these too. Thunderbirds and the Cougars are heavily slept on. If you're shopping for a Mustang, I'd look at these as well. Number 2, the Ford Crown Victoria, the Grand Marquis, and the Town Car. Yet again, you get the same motor out of a Mustang GT, but you just so happen to get it in a more robust package. Listen, there's a reason why police departments and taxi services have used these cars for so long. They simply do not die. You can swap a manual transmission in one of these, it's not that hard, and you could swap a Coyote in one if you want to as well. The aftermarket is huge, there's parts everywhere for them, just get one already. And at number 1, we have the Toyota Corolla and the Toyota Camry. Listen, mechanics since the dawn of time have been recommending these cars to people that don't maintain their cars. These are the most robust vehicles on planet Earth. I'm betting if an atomic bomb hit, these would still be standing. If Chuck Norris got into a fight with a Toyota Corolla, Chuck Norris would die. If the sun got into a blinking contest with a Toyota Camry, the sun would blink first. Here's what you need to know. If you are mechanically inclined, these are some of the easiest cars to work on. If you're not, these are some of the cheapest cars to get fixed. If you are looking for a cheap car, these should be the first car you look for. These cars are boring enough so people don't bother modifying them, and they're dependable enough where people just keep driving them and driving them and driving them and driving them. If you find one of these with 300,000 miles and the guy has all the service records, I'd recommend buying that one, because you're going to be able to pick it up cheap and it's going to probably last another 300, 400,000 miles. Anyways, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you have any other recommendations for cars that you would recommend to people, please leave it down in the comments below. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure to do so I can annoy you in the future. Make sure to like if you want to chug 40 energy drinks at once. And I will see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, I forgot something.